Nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try. Working 7 to 3, 3 to 11.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of The Working Lunch. I'm Jeff Turgeon, the Executive Director at MassHire Central Region Workforce Board. Usually, as folks know, I have a co-host, Michaela Taylor Davis Tucker, who unfortunately, Michaela is out sick today, so she won't be able to join us. So you have a double dose of me as your host, and as regular viewers of the show know, usually there's a few minutes where Michaela and I catch up and we have a bit of a conversation. Without her here today, I thought this might be an excellent time to finally get to reading some poetry that I've been writing for a new book coming out on workforce development, poems about workforce development by Jeff Turgeon. So I just thought I'd read a couple poems since we had a few minutes. I'm sorry, what's that? I'm talking to my producer. They're saying just to go to the interview. So we'll probably put that in post-production and get back to that at another time. But we are taping this in the middle of February, late February now. Valentine's Day has just ended. And we have a bit of a warm spell happening here in the city. And so what better guest to have than the president of the Worcester Red Sox, Dr. Charles Steinberg. Thanks for being with us, sir.
Thank you.
A bit of background about you. I was reading your bio, and I was just amazed at all the things that you've been involved with and accomplished. But Baltimore native, grew up there, started working with the Orioles as an intern.
Yes.
And then worked your way up to heading up their public relations. Mm-hmm. From there, went over to became involved with the San Diego Padres, became a vice president there. We've also had senior roles with the Boston Red Sox and the Los Angeles Dodgers. So a few teams people have probably heard of, even if you're not a baseball fan.
Right.
One thing that really struck me, though, is that every step of your career, how much involvement you've had in the community and how much innovation you've brought to that engagement to make sure that you are connecting. So
thank you.
So excited to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here, and thank you for that introduction.
So why don't we start with just how did it happen that you came to Worcester and brought the Red Sox to Worcester?
When we were with the Boston Red Sox for many years, starting 21 years ago, we knew that New England was a wonderful, wonderful market. And what we did was pretty well documented. People know about the 2004 World Series, 2007, 2013. And when the Pawtucket Red Sox were put up for sale, Larry Lucchino, the longtime president and CEO of the Red Sox and my mentor going back to Baltimore days, was approached by a group of people from Rhode Island to buy the club and build a ballpark in Rhode Island, just as we had built ballparks in Baltimore with Camden Yards, in San Diego with Petco Park, and we had done 10 years of renovations to Fenway Park. Larry said, sure, that sounds great. He could still live at home, build a new ballpark. Providence is a great city. Mm-hmm. Well, the good Lord had other plans, and the attorney who had approached Larry and was going to take care of the Rhode Island politics sadly suddenly passed away, and with him went the political ability to get that done. And we then said, okay, well, let's build a new ballpark in Pawtucket because McCoy Stadium has now passed its 80th birthday. It was approaching that.
Wow.
And it needed more than a refreshment. So that's what we decided, and we committed, and we announced it, signed a deal, 30 years, we're staying in Pawtucket. We announced that deal on May 16th of 2017, pending legislature approval. Now, how big can those three words be?
Right.
We learned how big those three words can be. You didn't have the state of Rhode Island backing the city of Pawtucket. And the longer it went, the more worried we got. And Larry said, look, if it doesn't happen at some point, I'm going to have to start returning calls to the 18 cities that had said, if Rhode Island doesn't want you, we'll take you.
Right.
So finally, Larry returned the call to the city of Worcester, to Ed Augustus. Mayor Petty and the city council had charged the city manager with the Herculean task of trying to persuade Larry Lucchino to move a team out of a city and out of a state. And Ed Augustus and the mayor and the city council and the business community and everyone who sent those 10,000 postcards succeeded in persuading us that Worcester was the place to be. And it's one of the greatest decisions of our baseball careers and our personal lives as well.
Well, it's an amazing story. And I know from the outside looking in, I think it was one of those situations where people didn't want to believe it until they believed it, right? And
I don't blame them. I didn't believe it.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, we're still staying in Pawtucket. Rhode Island will come through. They're not going to let us leave. And the more that summer of 2018 went on, the more I believed it could happen in Worcester. Yeah. And as I got to meet the people of Worcester, I'm thinking, it wouldn't be so bad if it did. And by August, I'm like, this would be pretty nice. The reception that we have received in Worcester has been so reflective of the heart of the city. The welcoming, the kindness, just the unity, the compassion, it's just been such a kind welcome. And I think Worcester has shown us that Worcester has a very definite, distinct personality, very different from Boston, which I don't know that we knew sitting at Fenway Park all those years. And what I love is that baseball can be a communication vehicle to the rest of the world to amplify the qualities of a city. We can be a microphone. I mean, gosh, there are 120 minor league ball clubs, and suddenly Worcester is on the tip of their tongues.
Yeah.
We sold more tickets in Worcester this past year than any of the other 120 minor league teams. And suddenly, in the major leagues, well, that pitcher's just up from Worcester. So Worcester is now part of the national and continental baseball vocabulary. And that's to me just the beginning of what we can do.
Well, kind of echoing on that or building on that, I know you've taken tremendous steps at every place you've been to make sure that the baseball team is not separate from the community.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the things you've done here, not necessarily just here, but some of the things you've been able to do to help ensure that connection?
I can, and I think the principle at work is this. When you are a happy, short, heavy-set little kid who gets 2 hits in 2 years.
You've read my bio.
No, that's mine. You get 2 hits in 2 years of Little League. You know that you're not going to succeed Brooks Robinson at third base for your Baltimore Orioles. But yet you could still feel the impact in the neighborhoods of the Orioles. The Orioles were wonderful back then. The viewers who've been around a while know how great those Orioles of the 1960s and 70s and 80s were. And Brooks Robinson spoke at my elementary school. I can see that moment in my mind right now vividly. When you're a child and you realize that the stars in the sky, like Brooks Robinson or like Paul McCartney, are actually closer than you would have thought. And you get to meet Brooks Robinson and work with him. And then through baseball, you get to meet Paul McCartney. Well, this is the impact that baseball and ballparks can have on the community. Yes, the theater is wonderful. Come to the game, watch the future Red Sox players. It's great. But you get more in the deal, regardless of whether you're a baseball fan or not. And so when you can tell 8th graders who don't know whether they'll be able to afford college, even though they're academically talented, that you're a WooSox scholar and you are getting a $10,000 college scholarship, even though they're going to need more scholarship money than that down the road. In 8th grade, you have kind of pivoted their thinking. I'm going to college. It is achievable. It is attainable. And so the WooSox Scholars is a program we love because it helps demonstrate to middle schoolers that the dream of a college education is valid and to some degree funded.
Right.
So that's a good thing. In social justice, my heavens, you can do so many things in social justice. Bank of America helped us have a WooSox Foundation caravan, a big decorated RV that can go into the communities, provide haircuts for people who are getting into the job application market. We can go help with resumes. We can go and provide, as we just did, wiffle balls and wiffle ball bats at Elm Park School to help children not only play ball, but play.
Yeah.
Anytime a child is on a ball field or a backyard or a front yard or even a parking lot that's safe with a wiffle ball bat and a wiffle ball, they are not sitting there on their cell phone.
Yeah.
And parents would love for their children to not be sitting there on their devices. Get fresh air. Play on grass. Play on dirt. You can play wiffle ball.
Yeah.
I can play wiffle ball.
And you don't need 18 guys to do it. You can.
You play. Two of us can. I would throw the ball against the wall of my house or the steps of my house. But my best friend since first grade and we love wiffle ball. We can do that. So you can actually make a difference in people's lives. When it comes to childhood cancer, the Red Sox role is legendary. Well, it's also very personal to Larry. It's also, I've known many families. So we emphasize the help to the families and the funding of research to help, just get rid of childhood cancer.
Well, and I think the Jimmy Fund is kind of known the world over now.
And who's the chairman of it? Larry Lucchino. And we work with UMass Memorial with their pediatric oncology efforts. So you can really make a difference to a family at a very, very difficult time. Diamond sports in general is an area. You can play baseball, softball, wiffle ball, kickball, stickball, street ball. I mean, there are all kinds of games to play. And there's the athletic part, but there's also the sportsmanship part.
Well, I also I've always thought that sports, because it is a big stage, so many eyes on it, it's also there's a great ability to bring people together, show them, hey, people of all backgrounds can work as a team. So there's a lot of positive lessons can be gleaned from watching a ball game, right? Yeah.
So many. We love for baseball to teach the lessons of life. And look, all of the children went through one heck of a time being home during COVID. And it was time of missed interactive, intersocial development. And I don't know how you make up for it, but what you can do is provide opportunities for children to safely play together.
Sure.
Learn how to win. Way more importantly, I believe, learn how to lose.
So among other things, the ballpark that you've built here in the city is a tremendous family venue, right?
And that's the goal.
And I love what you've done with keeping space kind of open in some areas to so it's just amazing to go and see all the families, that are there.
We love that.
Has there anything been about your move to Worcester that surprised you?
Yeah, I think we've been surprised at just how beautifully vibrant the energy is of the people of the city and the surrounding region. It's just been so embracing. I said to Larry Lucchino, I feel like Dorothy has landed in Oz and the Munchkins have come out to welcome us. He said, could you come up with a more masculine metaphor? But it's been a beautiful experience. It really has.
So I know we have a few more minutes, and I wanted to get to just talking about just the pure economic impact. So we've talked about kind of the moral and the community impact that the ball club has. How about in terms of just, I mean...
Well, look at it in concentric circles. Let's look at the ballpark itself. Mm-hmm. Inside the ballpark, where do the ball players live? Right here. Yeah. They live in the Canal District. They're paying rent. Boston Red Sox are paying rent. That's revenue coming into the city that would not have been coming from the Boston Red Sox otherwise. Yeah. The ball players are living in town. Last year, we were just around opening day, and I don't know all the players yet. It's, it was around April 2nd. We were opening April 12th last year. And I'm walking with my colleague, Tim Quidadamo, in the Canal District to go to dinner. And this young guy walks past us holding a bag of carryout. I said, is that one of our players? He said, I think so. I think that was Durbin Feltman. He had just gone into the restaurant, got some takeout to take back. So the ball players live in the city. They live in the Canal District. They go to the restaurants. They go to Creative Cakes Cafe in the Worcester Public Market. They go to the Banner. They go to Russo's. They go to Lock 50. They go to 111. They go to Ruth's Chris. They're here. They are living in apartments. They are patronizing the gas station. Now, you also have our front office members. Yeah. I live in the Canal District. I would not have otherwise lived in the Canal District. I'm here. Where I live, our senior vice president of ballpark operations lives there. Another exceptional young woman who has worked with our foundation lives there. I mean, we're living here. We're paying rent in the city. So we're also hiring from the city. Yes. We want a staff that looks and feels like Worcester, that reflects Worcester. So that's on the premises. But go beyond, and if anybody doesn't think that we're a catalyst for redevelopment, you need to open your eyes and walk down Madison Street. Right. It's rather undeniable that across Madison Street, there's this massive retail and apartment building that is supposed to have its first occupants, I think, this August. Yeah. On the other side of Madison Street, on the other side of Washington Street, where Table Talk Pies has been, look at what's going up there. Where the Cove
we have hundreds of new residents down there. Like you said, out eating, out shopping every 24/7.
It's happening now. It's not going to happen. It is happening. Yeah. And it is very exciting. And we're only in the second inning of it.
Now, speaking of very exciting, I'd be remiss if we didn't ask you, there are a lot of jobs available, game day operations type thing. How do folks get involved if they want to work? Because it sounds like an exciting part-time kind of gig.
It is. And it is part-time. It is hourly. We're talking about $15 an hour. It's not your career position. But you get into our family. And sometimes
you started as an intern with the Baltimore Orioles, right? The next.
I hold the major league record for most years as an intern. I was an intern 9 years. Senior year of high school, 4 years of college, 4 years of dental school, and when I got my doctorate in dentistry, I became the team dentist.
So I know we're taping this, and this week, as a matter of fact, you'll be having a this week when we're taping it, you're having
back
a job
in February.
So that was back in February, yeah.
But so there are opportunities, and you go to WooSox.com. That's where all things reside. We are just about wrapping up our internships for this year, but you can still send cover letters and resumes to internships at WooSox.com. That's for the high school and college students. Yeah. But the positions in security, for ushers, for PSC, the catering company, the concession company, they do a wonderful job. Go to WooSox.com and you'll see the opportunities.
So what's some of the things that you look for when you're?
I learned a long time ago, I think I'd been at the Orioles 10 years, and I had a boss there. Larry was a boss's boss. He was way up there. I was down at the bottom. And this boss, Bob Aylward, said, Charles, look around you. How many people have integrity? How many can you trust? And who are bright? You don't have to be Einstein to work in baseball. You clearly don't. But you got to be bright, and you've got to have the capacity to learn. and who have a good work ethic, who will come to work, who will be reliable, who will work their tail off when they're there, and who will be productive. Now, wait a minute. If I can trust you, and you're bright, and you'll work your tail off, you're almost there, but not if no one can stand working with you. Oh my God, what a pain. No, you've got to be a good teammate. You've got to be collaborative. You've got to be cooperative. If you have those 4 qualities, which each of us would say, yeah, I'm good at that, I'm good at that. But look how rare it is to find somebody good at all 4.
Right.
You've got to have the integrity. I got to be able to trust you. I'm giving you the keys to the castle. You're representing the Worcester Red Sox. You're representing the city of Worcester. You're representing Polar Park. You're representing the reputation of a city.
Yeah.
I've got to be able to trust you. You've got to be bright because you didn't go to school to get a degree in baseballology. So a lot of it is learned on the job.
Yeah.
We work hard. We love it. We come early. We stay late. We do our best. And a work ethic is essential. And you've got to be good in a team setting.
Yeah.
When you're working, on a game day, 15, 18 hours a day, you can't have prima donnas. You've all got to work together.
Yeah.
And if you say, well, I'm smarter than this one is, well, congratulations. But if you're the smartest person in the room, you're always going to be smarter than somebody else. You're going to still have to work with everyone. And I've actually never met someone who thinks they're the smartest person in the room and are correct.
Yeah.
If you think you are, I don't think you are. One more thing.
I know I'm not. I think
Also-
that I'm smart enough to know I'm not. How's that?
Exactly. We look for those who have discovered what their talents are. What are you good at?
Yeah.
We look for those who have searched their soul and know what their passions are. What do they love? And my hope for people is that you find the intersection of your talent and your passion. I believe the intersection of your talent and your passion is your genius.
And I'm going to guess there's relatively few people that actually do want it. Like, in other words, to have it all come together. Right? Yeah.
Over time, if you're fortunate, you discover the intersection of your talent and your passion. If you're fortunate, you discover it at a relatively young age. But keep thinking about that. I believe everyone has genius. What does come naturally to you? Don't poo-poo it. Don't denigrate it. Don't say, oh, nobody values that. You don't know. And what do you love? My heavens, I used to not want to practice piano when I was little because I didn't see it. But my parents, kept me doing it. Well, now, for better or for worse, I'm writing the songs that you're hearing in the ballpark. So you just don't know where your talents are going to lead. Yeah. You don't know where your passions are going to lead. But don't stick them in a closet or in a drawer. You have these gifts. It's how you cultivate them and how you use them. And you're not going to do that sitting home. You got to get out.
Well, I'll tell you, very good advice for anyone of any age out there, especially the young folks that are kind of just starting along their career journey. As we wrap this up, is there anything coming up this season that we didn't mention that you want to just get out there in the 30 seconds?
We have a host of things, and a lot of what we're trying to do is to make sure that no matter what economic bracket you're in, we're welcoming. That's why our tickets start at $8, at $9. That's why we're building a whole fan deck in left center field that aren't reserve seats. Just if you bought an $8 or $9 ticket, hang there. That's nice. Fine. Yeah. Come and enjoy the conviviality of a community coming together. Yes, we're going to have some new food items like lobster rolls, like clam chowder, and for those of a certain age, Taco and Tequila Tuesdays. So yes, we will have all that. We also have a WooSox reward system where you're going to get points just for coming to the game. It's a free app, WooSox Rewards. You can download it now, and you're going to get points for coming to the game, for buying that hamburger, for buying that ice cream, and you're going to be able to redeem those points for a free hamburger, for a free ice cream, or save them all up, and you're going to spring training on us.
Oh, wow.
How about that?
That's fabulous.
A lot of rewards. Check out WooSox Rewards. Oh, my goodness. Larry Lucchino wants it to be, as he put it, a BAFO program. Go look up BAFO in the dictionary.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be an amazing thing, and amazing to have the season coming up, and look forward to that, and to all. And thank you for coming and for sharing all the advice.
Well,
And again, folks can go on the website and check out any opportunities there to get involved too.
and say hi at the ballpark, and say that you saw us on this show, because we love to say hi. We love the community to come together. We've got a lot of games in April. So March 31st, opening day, but a lot of games in April and May. And we want to warm you up and let you have a good time at Polar Park, April, May, right on through September.
On that note, Dr. Charles Steinberg, president of the Worcester Red Sox, thank you for taking the time to come and chat with us on the Working Lunch.
Thank you.
Nice work if you can get it, and you can get it if you try.